Hello, everybody. So I promised that I would go live tonight, and I look insane. I have no makeup on. If you were following me on my personal page, I was doing a garden all day today, and it was crazy. But I said that I would do this, and it's about procrastination. So I literally told my husband, I said I was going to go do a video. So I'm going to go do the video because I'm not going to procrastinate it. Because I want to move on to the next topic for this week, but I can't do that until I close it out with this live teaching. So we're going to talk about breaking free from procrastination. I want to ask you a question. What's one thing that you have procrastinated this week? I bet we all have something. And I would almost guarantee that it had something to do with your own self care, your own desires, your dreams, because we don't procrastinate typically when it comes to other people. If our kids need something, if our husband needs something, our wife needs something, our parents, we don't procrastinate that. We jump on it because we are always there for the people that we love. But when it comes to doing the things that we want to do, our dreams, growing our business, reading that book, going on that trip, we procrastinate those things. And so I want to talk about breaking free from procrastination. So, what does procrastination look like? It's not laziness, it's avoidance. It means we're avoiding something. You're not procrastinating because you're lazy, it's because you are avoiding something. So, what it looks like is suddenly needing to clean your entire house before you start that important project. It's saying, I'll start when I feel prepared. Did I feel prepared for this? No, I was sitting on my couch, relaxing, pretty much checked out for the day. But I said, you know what? I promised I would do this. So I'm going to jump on and I'm going to do it. And so that is me not procrastinating. It also looks like waiting until the last minute and rushing because you work better under pressure. Yeah, it's feeling frozen by the fear of messing up so you don't start at all. So, if this sounds familiar, you're not alone. Most procrastination is about avoiding discomfort, and it's not about laziness. So, that's kind of what procrastination looks like. And it can lead to some pretty negative consequences. We can feel anxious, we can feel stressed, we can feel like we're super overwhelmed because we've pushed everything off to the last minute. So instead, let's understand why we procrastinate so that we can learn to break free from the procrastination. Okay, so some of the reasons people procrastinate is a fear of failure. You are afraid that you won't do it well, so you just never start. And if I would have been listening to my mind today, I would have said, hey, I have not had time to gather all of my notes. I haven't had time to rehearse. I haven't done this. I haven't done that. So I'm just not going to do the video tonight, right? I could have let the fear of failure keep me from recording this video for y'all. And I didn't want to do that because I got a lot of feedback this morning on the short little video that I did about procrastination. And so I really wanted to get on here and do this because it's important. Perfectionism is another reason that we procrastinate. If it can't be perfect, then why bother? Or we're waiting for the perfect time. We are being perfectionists with the time in which we're going to start whatever it is that we got to do. So let's stop letting perfectionism make us procrastinate. Another reason is if you feel overwhelmed. The task feels too big, so it's easier to just avoid it. This one always gets me. We might procrastinate because of a fear of success. What if I actually follow through? What will change if I do this? Yeah, I'm reading a book right now called We Should All Be Millionaires. And that's one of the things that she talks about, how we are afraid of what it's going to look like when we get that promotion, what it's going to look like if we work too good, if we do too good of a job, and then our bosses start to notice, and then we get a promotion or we're expected to do more, and we don't feel equipped for that because we are afraid of what success might bring us. It sounds silly, but it's true. It is true. A lot of people deal with this. So I struggle with procrastination when it comes to my business and my book. I procrastinate out of perfectionism. I want everything that I give you guys to be perfect. And a lot of times I will sit at my computer spinning my wheels and spinning my wheels trying to make it perfect. But I have to remember that it doesn't matter if it's perfect as long as as long as it's real, open and honest, right? I just need to be honest, be real and be authentic. And then it is perfect because it's me and I'm perfectly imperfect. And the same goes for you. It doesn't have to be perfect for you to put it out there. People need to hear what you have to say. People need to see you grow. People need to see you succeed. There are people out there who are banking their future success on yours. They see you going before them. They see you breaking chains. They see you making changes. And if you procrastinate and you never do the things, then maybe they might give up too, and you don't even know who they are. It might be some stranger on the internet that is like, oh my gosh, I can relate to them so well. I feel like I see myself in them. And then all of a sudden, you just stop doing the growth. You stop pursuing the dream. You stop doing the thing. And they're like, oh, well, if they can't do it, then I guess I can't either. So let's stop waiting for perfection and let's start working through the procrastination. Let's break free from the procrastination. Okay, so how to break free from procrastination. If you listen to the podcast episode this week, then you've probably heard some of these, but I'm going to go through them anyway for anybody who hasn't heard the podcast episode. So, some of the ways to break free are: start small, set a timer for 10 minutes, and just start. There is something scientific, it is biological, it is chemical in your brain that when you start a task, it starts to signal to your brain that you're going to move in that direction, that you're going to do that thing. So if you are trying to exercise more, if you put your shoes and your workout clothes in a place where they're easily accessible, right? So when you get home from work, you see your shoes there, and maybe your first move, maybe your start small, is just to put your shoes on. Maybe that's step one. And then tomorrow, you actually put on the workout clothes and the shoes. And then you walk around your house like that. You're going to feel silly walking around your house in your workout clothes. But then maybe the next day, you put on the clothes and you actually get out the door and go for a walk. Or maybe starting small looks like scheduling that workout class, or making the call to the attorney, or calling that apartment building that you want, calling them just to find out how much the rent is. Whatever it is, you got to start small. Detach from perfection. So, progress is more important than perfection. Done is better than perfect. Okay. So if you are trying to move into a different place, then I would encourage you to start looking. Back in the day, we used to have this magazine. It was called the Apartment Guide, and you could literally flip through it and it'd tell you how many bedrooms, the price, whether or not all bills were included. Nowadays, you have to actually get on the internet and probably search. And sometimes it doesn't even tell you the price. But instead of letting fear or having the perfect budget hold you back from making the phone call, make the phone call. You never know if you're going to be able to afford it until you call and ask how much it is. So detach from perfection. Progress is better than perfection. Take the first step and work towards progress rather than perfection. Identify the fear is another way to break free from procrastination. Ask yourself, what am I really avoiding? Name it, own it, and move forward anyway. So if you are afraid of success, name it. I'm afraid that I will be really good at this task that they've asked me to do, and then they're going to ask me to do more. I am afraid that if I do make $1 million this year, I'm going to blow it. I'm going to be one of those people who wins the lottery and then is bankrupt in a year. Name the fear because you can't move past it until you name it, recognize it, and start to take steps to deal with it. So if budget is your concern, okay, I want to move forward, but I can't afford it. Okay. In the book that I'm reading, she says, instead reframe it as I want to move forward and I can't afford it. Okay. Well, if it's an and, then you can do something about it, right? I can't afford it. That means that there is a way to afford it. We just got to find a way. So move past perfection. My budget may not be perfect right now, but I am going to make progress towards having the budget that I need to be able to get the place, get the coaching, get the business, whatever it is. Reframe your mindset. Shift from I have to do this to I get to do this. So, this is one of my favorites whenever I'm working with people in recovery because we tend to say, I have to stay sober. I can't drink tonight. I have to go to the AA meeting. No, instead, if you can reframe it to say, I get to go to an AA meeting tonight, that is so much more positive. And being able to go to a meeting because you are sober is something to celebrate. When you say, I get to be sober tonight, that means I get to drive myself home whenever I want because I'm not too drunk to drive. Whenever I say, I get to remember these conversations that we're having tomorrow because I won't be too drunk to remember. So when you reframe it of I can't drink tonight to I get to remember these conversations tomorrow, doesn't it sound so much better? Yes. I know whenever I first got sober, I would avoid social situations. I would procrastinate social situations because I was like, oh, well, I can't drink anyway. But when I shifted my mindset to I get to go socialize and remember what I said, what I did, and I get to go home whenever I want, it made it so much easier for me to actually get up, stop procrastinating getting ready, and stop procrastinating going to that party and actually going. I was excited to go, but it took reframing my mindset and having that shift from I have to do this to I get to do this. Find accountability. You have to find someone to help you stay accountable when you are trying to break free from perfectionism. Or, I'm sorry, procrastination. Perfectionism was last week. I keep getting those mixed up. If you listen to the podcast, you heard me do it on there too. Procrastination is a habit, and habits can be broken. But in order to break a habit, most times we need someone to help us stay accountable. So it can be helpful to have a coach, a friend, an accountability partner, a mentor, a counselor, someone who is able to help you stay accountable so that you can start to break free from the procrastination. They will check in with you. They will say, "Hey, have you done that task today? Have you written the pages for your book? Have you called the apartment complexes like we talked about? Have you gone out and bought the flowers that you said you were going to plant in your garden?" Whatever it is that you're working towards, an accountability partner can help you stay on task. So that is super important. Find someone to help you stay accountable, and it's going to help you break tasks into smaller steps with deadlines so that you can reach your goal. So you tell your accountability partner, okay, by Friday, I want to have reached out to X number of leads. I want to reach out to X number of people this week and offer them my coaching services. I want to write X number of pages this week. I want to reduce the amount of cigarettes that I smoke this week. I want to only, but be specific. I want to reduce the amount of cigarettes I smoke this week by half or by a fourth, or I want to limit myself to 2 cigarettes a day this week. That way, on Friday, they can call you and say, "How many cigarettes a day did you have this week?" And you can tell them. And it's measurable, it's got a deadline, right? So they can help you stay on track with your goals. So, again, I'm going to ask you, what's one thing you've been putting off together? Sorry. What's one thing you've been putting off this week? Oh my goodness, guys. Okay, so what's one thing that you've been putting off this week? Seriously, I want to know. Put it in the comments. Let me know what you've been putting off. And how are you going to start working towards not procrastinating, whatever that is? All right. So, if any of this helped, I would like to know. I'd also like to ask, what's your biggest procrastination trigger? Is it a fear of failure, perfectionism, feeling overwhelmed, distraction, like social media or scrolling on TikTok or watching Netflix? What is it? I also want to ask, I procrastinate the most when? When do you procrastinate the most? Is it when it's something boring? Is it when it's something that you don't want to do? Is it when you are nervous or scared about something? Last one. What's your go to procrastination excuse? Mine is I'm too busy. That's what it is. So I want to give you a couple of challenges before we leave. The first one I shared on the podcast episode, it's called the 5-minute challenge. So I challenge you this week to pick a task that you have been avoiding and work on it for 5 minutes. Set a timer, start, and then comment below when you've accomplished it. Okay? And if you are wanting any one-on-one help, let me know. I do one-on-one coaching on procrastination. I also have Voxer coaching and I have my Bella Grace community. So if you would like to dig in deeper, hit me up or comment below and I would love to work with you. Okay, talk to you later. Good night. It's late. Bye.